Hey, John. Welcome back.
Yes,
Thanks for coming.
It's good to be here.
And thanks for bringing this little guy.
Yeah,
I've been
thanks
anxious
for-
to see it.
Well, this is, in my opinion, Canon's third home run in the world of video. When the XL1 came out, it was a camera that was marketed and targeted to the high-end consumer, the doctor-lawyer camera. It ended up becoming literally an iconic camera for the throwaway production camera, the super low-cost camera that allowed people to do professional work.
Well, but yeah, I mean, we were doing corporate video at the time. I mean, it was either using a beta cam. You had to rent that. That thing was kind of expensive.
Right.
Or we were going on set with these XL1s and XL2s, and we were kind of a little scared that people thought it was a little consumerish looking, which like that, you know.
Yeah. The 5D2 was the second home run, the camera that we had no idea what the market was going to do with it. We introduced this camera basically providing the news photographers a video tap. We just tapped the monitor path, and all of a sudden people are making movies with it. So now we have this incredibly small 2.5 pound camera. We call it a 4K camera. I like to call it a UHD camera. UHD says that it is a 3840 by 2160 format, which is the video version of 4K.
I mean, just to be clear so that people get it, it's that quadrant style system. So like
it's 4 HD panels. So you're looking at 3840 width by the same vertical 2160.
All right, so it's shy of 4K. It's just in the
Just a
way in which it's recording.
And I've always thought of UHD and HD as video formats, 2K and 4K as cine formats. So on our C300, we have the ability to shoot 4K, UHD, 2K, HD. With this camera, it's UHD and HD. This is a video camera.
Yeah.
The thing that I find so remarkable about it is that we've all seen the phenomenon that is the 5D2. That's a camera that began its life as a single lens reflex still camera and ended up having this remarkable video capture capability. This camera is designed exactly the opposite. This camera is designed as a video camera that also happens to be a still camera. What you may not be aware of on this camera is that it has a 12 megapixel sensor in it, 12 megapixel sensor, and it has a mechanical shutter. This camera runs still images at 3.8 frames a second with a mechanical shutter. It's a real still camera, but it has the ability to capture that 8.29 megapixel 16:9 video. We've got peaking, we've got zebra, we've got magnification of the screen, we've got video features in this camera.
Right.
And the ability to use this as a true 4K capture camera, it's such a significant leap because we're doing all of it internally. There's no external recording apparatus necessary. This camera is recording at 305 megabits per second. This is a hot rod camera, and it's super compact. It has a built-in 10 power zoom lens. The reason why we designed it as an integrated lens camera is because there's no lens in the world, much less made by Canon, that's designed for 4K resolution on a 1-inch sensor. We've all been doing this a long time. We've used small sensor cameras, we've used large sensor cameras. We know the advantages of having a large sensor camera and controlling our depth of field and giving that cinematic look, but we also know how incredibly difficult it is to get accurate focus with these big sensors.
Yeah, I think that people need to understand the use. So like when we do documentaries and we're interviewing somebody, we cannot for 1 microsecond have it where the difference between your shell, you know, if a guy tips back and he's out of focus. I've heard people with the 5D say, oh yeah, that's my creative choice. That's bullshit.
So here we've got 1 inch.
1 inch is cool.
It's a sweet spot to me because it gives
It's
me...
APS, is that APS?
No, it's a little smaller than APS.
A little smaller, okay.
So it's bigger than 2/3, it's smaller than 4/3 micro. It's right in that area where I've got a sensor that's a little more forgiving than that S35 sensor or that APS-C sensor, but still has enough area that I can control the depth of field. I've got ISO capability on the camera from 160 to 20,000. So that combined with the 3-stop ND built in, I can literally create the depth of field I need by using a 2.8 aperture, or I can stop it down a little bit and go wide, and everything's going to be
ratchet your ISO up a bit. I see this as, and again, you can correct me. This is totally an event shooter camera. This is wedding guy personified.
To me, it's the replacement of the camcorder. There's no reason for a camcorder to exist anymore with this.
Was there a target in mind with this? I mean, at first when I saw it, oh, they made something for drones is what I thought of initially, but.
Right. You know, I think,
big drone, too.
I think Canon saw it as sort of the go-to camera for press. I see it being
a
just
stringer camera.
Oh my gosh! I mean, it's
small.
everything.
So it's a stringer camera, one-man band going out in the field. I'm shooting photos, video, and I got to write my story.
It's really the answer to the 5D Mark III.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wedding dude,
but coming from the other side,
Coming
instead of
from the other
forcing
side.
the still camera to fit.
with a 24 to 240 in still,
Yeah.
or 27 to 273 in motion. It's 422.
And it's video
So the
centric.
color is gorgeous coming out of this. Anything that
422.
it's 422.
Wow.
Anything that competes with this at its price point is a 420 camera.
Yeah.
So
is amazing.
this is raising the bar. 12 stops of dynamic range in this camera.
Fine, you don't need 14 stops.
Believe me, the whole 4K
Not
cinema,
for this market.
the cinema revolution happened with a camera that boasted 11 stops. So we're looking at very, very high performance here.
I think that people need to realize that the market for this camera is much bigger than the market for
It's huge.
even the DSLR market. This is probably your biggest market, right?
Oh, there's no question about
Yeah.
it. When I saw this camera, I had the same reaction I have when I walk into an Apple store. Well, I want it.
Yeah.
I just want it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it, but I want it.
Yeah, the competitor versions of this are about this with about that
Yeah.
much length to it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, my little bag I carry every day, that baby's going in there. Put one of these other, you know, larger camcorders, I got to have a case.
Right.
So this is your stringer. Anybody hops on a plane, boom, they got this. They're shooting video.
So we're looking at a camera that obviously, because of the 305 megabit data rate, needs a high-speed recording medium. So we use the same CFast 2 card in this that we do in our C300 Mark II.
That's cool.
Also SD card slot if you want to record long GOP HD.
Yep.
Otherwise, the 4K is all intra-frame. And you know, a 64 gig CFast card is going to be a couple $100.
Yeah, no, that's not cheap.
So we include it. When you buy this camera, you get a 64 gig CFast
Really?
2 card and a card reader. Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
So you literally get $300 or $400 worth of goodies
Wow.
thrown in at that $2,500 price point.
All right, now I got to believe this thing's got to have a nice stereo microphone built in.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
because that's, okay, there you go. That's important. And you got an external,
And external in.
yeah.
Right there,
It's
HDMI.
It's got a mini, that's kind of painful. But for a stringer or for a wedding dude, he can go
They're going
mini
to slap a
plug
little
to a
Rode
little.
on there and be as happy as a
Right.
clam.
No, they're probably going to do nowadays is just put a wireless unit that goes right into there, so you don't have to worry about the jiggly
Right,
cable.
Right.
And they're good to go.
Exhaust fan. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, it's 4K,
heat
yeah.
management is the #1
Sure.
villain in these high-performance
I
cameras.
like, you know, here's what I really love in this kind of thing here is iris control,
Yep.
start, stop. Boy, the button management is, I got to say, I actually like it. You know, I'd give you a hard time if I
Oh,
didn't.
yeah, yeah.
But this is all right where
It's
I
very
want
clean.
it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
here, this one's a little tough, the joystick, but it's the menu, so I don't care.
So the screen, because it's a touch screen, there's obviously caveats to having the Finder on. So we offer all of the same menu control off of the toggle.
Yeah, it's
so
gonna
that
be
if
how
you've
you
got a
have to
Finder
do it.
back there, you've got that ability.
I mean, if you're outside, you got to have a Finder. I mean, this
But
whole idea.
the thing that's cool about the touch screen is that when you bring this up, the lower right-hand corner has the frame rate adjust. So you hit that and it brings up a little dialog screen that says, do you want to shoot at half speed, quarter speed? You hit that and it automatically goes into the mode. So you're not searching through a menu and
But can I
messing around.
program these buttons?
Sure, you've got 3 buttons you can program. So you could initiate it.
Yeah, I'm not a touch screener myself. I mean, it gets all greasy and grimy, and it's like, I got to look at that while I'm working all day. That's a little weird.
No, but if you're shooting in the daylight, you know, you're going to have at
You're
least a
gonna have-
shroud, if
right.
not a
you
Finder.
got
on
to
it.
have a Finder on. I mean,
So that was good thinking to have that on
yeah.
there.
We got to point out the negatives. We always do that. Not in love with the 2.8 to 5.6. That's rough.
Yep.
But again, You know, it's 4K, it's small. We had a pre-look at this at IBC, was it the last one or the one before? I can't remember. And it seemed much bigger to me.
Well, that's,
Did
because
it-
it was a photo you saw.
Yeah, did you
Yeah.
think that
Yeah, I
was,
thought
they
it
need
was
to put
bigger.
a little quarter or something in
Yeah.
there so that we, I thought it was huge, you know, I thought it was gonna be like that.
The images I saw of it, I thought it was Hasselblad sized.
Yeah,
It looked,
that's
it looked
what
like
we
a
thought.
medium
Right.
format camera.
Yeah, if we're going down some of the wishes, I wish this was detachable, although it's not a big deal now that the camera is smaller than I thought.
We have to assume that there's a lot of electronics
There
in that
is,
grip.
yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
there is.
I don't
well, the
think that
battery's
that-
in there.
I don't think
Well,
it needs to be detachable.
That's a deal breaker, right?
Yeah, no, I think the design's really good.
I think they did a really good
I don't
job.
have a lot of negatives on this thing.
It's hard to pick it apart. It's a camera that kind of does what the larger part of the market is interested in doing with a camera.
We need to use them here.
Yeah, I mean, it would be the perfect camera for this.
All right,
put
so
an
I
order
need
in?
1, 2, 3, 4 cameras.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for coming, man.
Order taken.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Really
Okay.
appreciate you having us.